Hi, and welcome to the fourth session of Mud to Magic painting. So I didn't manage to finish this when I was on the live call with you, but I wanted you to see exactly what I did from the point that I left. So there was a lot going on that I really loved, so I didn't think it was really going to take me that much to send it into a finished place. That said, there's probably quite a bit that I did to it, but it was more editing and adding little bits and pieces back in. And, this is the messy middle for me. I sit comfortably here knowing that I've got the bones of what I want underneath. I just need to massage and take out and really get the composition strong. Get where I want the viewer to come in and look at the painting, get the color palette happening. So you'll notice that I've used quite a bit of a very light color to take away quite a bit of the underneath so that I've got a good concentrated bright area. And I'm also bringing in some medium tones in that beige color because I have a lot of darker areas and a lot of lighter areas, and I just want to bring in a little bit more balance and a little bit more interest with that beigey yellow color. And here I am. The vase was just too strong for me, so I've made a wash of a very light color to pull part of the container at the bottom of the painting to just get rid of it a little bit, to send it into a different direction. So I have an idea of what I'm doing, but at any point, this is why it's called the messy middle, is that you do have to let go. I'm still have let go of outcome and of losing things that I like in order to create something that I love. It's my favorite saying with painting. Let go of something you like in order to create something you love. And that includes letting go of bits in the painting that you may love. Because you need to create something overall that's a good painting, that's interesting, that your audience will want to engage with. So I'm in my neutral palette now with quite an opaque, light beigey grey. It's what I consider a very light mud colour, and I use the mud colours a lot to balance my palette, both in opaque and in transparent. Sometimes mud can be quite hard to use as a transparent because you're using water or I use water to water it down. And now I've gone into almost a greeny mud colour. So as you would have got from the lesson 2, use the colours from your paintings in your mud so that it's harmonious. I love the way this colour, it just is really flat, so it interacts with the brights beautifully. And I'm going quite hard on this, but I'm wanting to really pull the viewer into the bright areas. Here you'll see me going very, very hard on that bright fluoro pink, but it's not actually fluoro, just fluoro. I've got the other pinks in it, so it matches well with them. Moving across the painting, and because it is quite big, when you see me walk to the left of the painting, I am moving back and looking at it from a distance. When a painting is this big, you really do need to get away from it. I'm now bringing in an oil pastel. I often do this in the last stages of a painting just to add those little bits of pop. I love the way that the thick Sennelier oil pastels interact with the paints. This one's a gorgeous dark burgundy colour that I'm putting in just little areas of interest. Liking what that did. And now pulling in another light colour. I often, when I work with the lights, I often do work tonally with a few different lights to make those light areas more interesting. So they're not just completely falling away to the back, which white would do. They've got depth, they've got history, so they're interesting. They tell a story. And now I've got a paint that's as dark as that oil pastel because I liked how that popped. So I'm putting in, again, some other areas of interest back into the painting now that I've taken out a lot of it. This is a beautiful muddy green, greeny brown colour that interacts very nicely with the pink. It's tonally quite similar, but together they look quite beautiful and draw the eye to that area. It's me stepping back to have a look to see how the painting feels from afar and deciding to go even harder on that colour. You'll notice me putting it into a couple of different areas, but in different ways. So it feels balanced. It's telling a story that covers the entire canvas. Now I'm working on the bottom of the container. It was looking too precise to me, so I'm liking this dark area and that dark paint and what it did. So I'm creating a different shape that pulls the eye from that top area of brightness all the way down and around. Really holds the bottom of the painting with such an area of extravagance at the top. That's what I'm going to call it. It needed something quite bold at the bottom to balance it. This is where I'm thinking compositionally. When does it feel balanced? And as I said to you in lesson 3, I'll often turn the painting upside down, but because I'm demonstrating this for you, I'm not going to turn the painting, so I'm just stepping away and getting a sense of balance. By squinting, by just getting a sense of it from right across the room. And now I'm pulling in a light pink. It's more in your mid-range tones, just to add a few more pops back in of colour. And editing as I go. Getting rid of different areas so that you're getting different negative shapes happening. This is layering. I love layering in my paintings. And that's why I do quite a few sessions on one painting. This is the 4th session on this painting. And I'm really happy with where I got to in comparison to where I started. There's so much going on, but it's a good lot. Now I'm creating a really gorgeous purple colour that's in there, but again, it's quite a... It's quite a saturated or opaque purple that helps the brighter colours sing. It balances out a lot of those bright colours. I really like it. I made that up with some of the purples and some of that green, that muted green that you saw me adding earlier. When I like something, I do more of it. You'll see that's almost the same colour as an oil pastel I used earlier. So all of the colours are starting to really work together, the oil pastels and the paints, and the transparent paints and the opaque paints. And that's what I suggest you do at these stages. You really go through your brights, your darks, your lights, your transparents and your opaques. Ask yourself about those, the values in all of those, and whether you've got a good balance of them. Okay, now that I feel like I've got a good balance overall, I need to put back the central area of the painting. It's going to be a little bit off center now. I've fixed that issue that I had in an earlier paint, and I'm bringing back in a deep red, which is also in the painting, and giving the viewer somewhere very big to look straight at. So while I did have quite a central flower there earlier, and I fixed that by spreading it, if you remember from the last paint, I'm now bringing back a chunky colour over the top in a different way, but in a way that for me really works. And bringing also back in that beige colour, which again I'm loving, so I'm doing more of it. Getting some brighter pink to bring back in. Just to draw the eye more to the brighter pops. It's getting there. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Just getting the mark making right on some of these shapes so they feel more me. So overall I haven't just taken things away, I've also brought back things that I really loved, some of the marks that I loved, and I'm drawing the eye to where I want the viewer to go. Now I've brought the oil pastel back, which matches so beautifully with that muted grey lilac colour I put in earlier. And now a little bit of the green oil pastel. So you see I do use quite a bit of the oil pastels at this stage of a painting. They just add that little bit of specialness at the end. This is the chunky colour that I used earlier. Just gives a little bit more shape to that structure in the middle. What I do when I'm at this stage of a painting where I feel it's pretty close is I stand away from it a lot. I leave it up on the wall and I just, it's in my studio. So I'm in my studio a lot and I'm going past it a lot and looking, does it feel finished to me? Is there anything else it's asking me for? I feel that paintings ask you for things, and that's a conversation that you have with it when you leave it for a while. I don't believe you can see your paintings unless you live with them for a while to see that they're saying the complete story. So that's where the painting got to, and I've just put it up onto a in situ app for you, just so you can get a bit more of an idea of how it looks from far away. The colours do change, and you'll also see the creases in the paper because this is paper. But I hope that gives you an idea of what it looks like. And I hope that you'll join me for my online painting course, The Messy Middle. It's where we're going to be working through these stages together. I know as artists, making your way through these different stages can be quite difficult, and we find ourselves often stuck in the middle of the process, where if you just stick with the painting longer, if you let go of your expectation of getting a result, and you work through some simple steps, a simple process, you can create art that really, really speaks to your audience as meaningful and has impact. So I hope you'll join me. We've got close on 24 hours left to sign up. There will be a link with this video. I'd love to see you there.